This is Jafric Radio. This is Jafric Radio. This is Jafric Radio. Grandma
shit, baby I shit. See can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah na befa, oh befa, yeah na befa. Living a life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parents you know be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say Nalaba. I've not bet the coco. When the back break up bed. Mulinki Mr. John. Yes, see what boy the bed. It's hard, yeah. Charlie, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, lot is hard, yeah.
This is Jafric Radio.
Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, na befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, na befa. Befa. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, na befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, na befa. Befa.
Savage mix.
This is Jafric Radio. Jafric Radio. Radio.
Shake it. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, na befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, na befa. Go croco, ya no me tia dia ghetto. And Ramanda, intun de da ese moto. Obrayo ko, se bi so be chalato. Adie, chale no be lie. Shit, be ya adie. Shit, be ya adie. Adie, chale no be lie. Shit, be ya adie. Shit, be ya adie. Chroma ya shit, baby I shit. See can I lock it? Baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah na befa. Befa, oh befa. Yeah na befa. Living a life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parents you know be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say Nalaba. I've not bet the coco. When the back break up bed. Mulinki Mr. John. Yes, see what boy the bed. It's hard, yeah. Charlie, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, lot is hard, yeah. Charlie, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it?
This is Jafric Radio.
So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, na befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, na befa. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah.
This is Jafric Radio.
Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, na befa.
Savage mix.
This is Jafric Radio.
shit, baby I shit. See can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa. Go croco, ya no me tia dia ghetto, and Ramanda, intun de da yese moto, obrayo se service yo get chala.
This is Jafric Radio.
No be lie, shit, bibia ya dia, shit, obia ya wa dia, shit, la dia, chale, no be lie, shit, bibia ya dia, shit, obia ya wa dia, shit. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa. Living the life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parents you know be, yes I'm here. Someone say another, I'm not Betty Coco. When you break up it, Mulinki Mr. John, yes you are when you paid us hard, yeah. Chale, no be lie, shit, bibia ya, yeah, shit, obia ya wa, yeah, shit, lalas hard, yeah. Chale, no be lie, bibia ya, yeah, shit, obia ya wa, yeah, shit. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa. Grandma ya shit.
This is Jafric Radio.
Baby I shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa.
Savage mix.
This is Jafric Radio.
Fox speed, roll it.
Shake it. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit. See can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa. Ya wa dia, lalas hard, yeah. Chale, no be lie, shit, bibia ya dia, shit, obia ya wa dia, shit. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa. Living the life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what we do.
This is Jafric Radio.
Speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parents you know be, yes I'm here. Someone say another, I'm not Betty Coco. When you break up it, Mulinki Mr. John, yes you are when you paid us hard, yeah. Chale, no be lie, shit, bibia ya, yeah, shit, obia ya wa, yeah, shit, lalas hard, yeah. Chale, no be lie, shit, bibia ya, yeah, shit, obia ya wa, yeah, shit. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny befa, oh befa, yeah deny befa. Grandma ya shit, baby ya shit, see can I lock it, baby I block it. So yeah my baby mo, yeah deny. Befa, oh, Befa. Hey, yeah, nah, Befa. Befa.
Savage mix.
Speed, roll it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. AGOOO, and then you say Amen. Today in the studio, it's not Mommy AGOOO, but it is Papa AGOOO. You know Papa AGOOO, right? Yes, it's me, Papa AGOOO, Nanaya Pop in the house. Today, Mommy AGOOO couldn't make it because of one or two things that is happening in her life today. I'll be in the studio today to sit in for Mommy AGOOO. And today we have a very, very, very handsome, healthy, sexy, and good looking brother all the way from Australia. He's in the studio today. He came by Australia Airlines. I just went and pick him up from Narita Airport. No, Haneda, right? Haneda. Yeah, pick him up from Haneda Airport. So he's in the studio, and we are ready to chat about fitness. Fitness, and also health. For example, me, when I came to Japan, I was like 78 kilos. And now I'm 109 kilos. And, my knees, my waist, my here, my there, it's just, paining me. Today, Sensei is in the house. And he's going to teach us. We're going to talk about his life. We're going to talk about what he does. He's a fitness trainer. And at the same time, he is the owner of Lace Up Personal Training Gym in Tokyo. Without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you, my guest in the house, owner of Lace Up Training Gym. Here we go. Boom!
Booyah! Hey, hello everybody.
Hello,
nice to meet you.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on today.
You're welcome. Yes. So, your name?
Yep.
Your name, please. Your
Yep.
name.
Okay. So my name is Tatsuya Lacey. That's about it. Short name.
Tatsuya.
Yeah, Tatsuya. Tatsuya would be my Japanese name, and Lacey would be my English surname.
Hold on. Are you an Australian, right?
Yeah, I'm Australian. Yes.
And where from all this Tatsuya and stuff?
So my mother is Japanese, and my dad is Australian. So this.
That is why.
That is why.
So were you born in Japan?
No, I was born in Australia.
Oh, born in Australia.
So originally born in Australia, and then I moved to Japan when I was about 10 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So 10歳の時に日本に来た. Yeah.
So how should I call you?
Just Tats. Tats is fine. Yeah, Tats. Tats is
not Lace.
Or Lacey. Anyway, I think
Lacey?
probably we'll say Lacey for this program now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
usually
usually like my friends casually they just call me Tats, like Tats. Yeah, Tats.
All right,
yeah.
You can call him Tats.
Tatsu.
Tattoo?
Yeah, Japanese people, my friends will call me Tatsu, Tatsuya, Tatchan. My English friends would just call me Tats.
Tat. Okay,
Yeah.
you can call him Tattoo or Tat. Or today we're going to call him Lacey.
Lacey,
right?
yeah, we'll go with Lacey today.
How did you come with the name Lacey?
It is my actual surname. My family name is Lacey, so so I just thought I'd just inherit it with my work that I do over here when it comes to like media platforms and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think with my facial appearance, if I go by a Japanese name, it's going to cause a little bit of confusion.
Right.
So I'll go with Lacey just to balance the things out with like what you see and what you get.
Okay, Lacey, you said you were born in Australia.
Yes, sir.
Until 10, right?
Hey.
And can you talk, or can you tell us a bit about, little boy Lacey?
Little boy Lacey. Okay. Yeah. So I was born in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, and I grew up there till I was about 10 years old. I guess during that time I just loved playing sports.
Okay.
So I'd play sports a lot. I'd be playing in the backyard all the time, almost every day. And I'd get injured quite a lot as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a little boy just getting injured, running around everywhere, climbing everywhere, falling off everywhere, breaking arms and stuff. Yeah, just breaking bones. Just a typical boy. And then I guess I was and then just going to school every day and just having fights with kids and all that kind of stuff. Just a little bit of a rascal, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
So
when did you come to Japan back?
Okay, so I came to Japan in the year 2000. So actually 2001, I think. It was after the Sydney Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the Sydney Olympics.
Yeah, after Sydney Olympics. So
wait, how old were you by then?
So I think I was about 10 years old. 10, 11, something like that. Yeah.
The Sydney Olympics, I have some intro taking out. Singer.
Yeah.
I don't this at all.
Hey.
Do you know she's a swimmer, a Japanese swimmer?
Japanese swimmer.
She was like 14 years old by that.
Oh, yeah.
And she won a gold medal.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
No, Hiroyogi ka.
But I remember like the really young girl. Yeah, she was. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That was so. I remember that scene very well. Okay, so now in Japan, what do you do?
Okay.
I know what you do, but people really don't know what you do.
Okay, so just a quick little background story. I started doing like fashion modeling when I was like 13 years old in Japan, and then so I did that for about 17 years, but when I turned around 19, 18, somewhere around there, I started developing a lot of interest in fitness. In like training, like working out, that kind of stuff, putting on muscle, etc.
How old was that?
I was about 18 or 19 years old. So I had to train and go to the gym to put on muscle for like swimwear, that kind of stuff, And obviously I love playing football and that kind of stuff. So I was like very passionate about sports and fitness, health, that kind of stuff. So then I built an interest in becoming a trainer or instructor. So I started off as a TRX instructor, group training, which is you use a equipment called the TRX.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know the TRX? Yeah. It's like those straps that from the ceiling. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so they're like originally from the Navy SEALs.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where they were created or born. And so I got certified for TRX and I started training and teaching TRX training for about a year or two. And then I just started, my interest just got even bigger and bigger, and I just thought I might want to get certified and become a personal trainer and pursue that path even deeper. So that was like my passion. So I thought I got to study hard, get a lot of certification, put a lot of knowledge in, a lot of skill set, that kind of stuff. That way I could also graduate from modeling and shift to become a full-time professional trainer. And so I had about 5-6 years of that, and then now I'm running my own gym. So I'm a business owner of Lace Up Personal Training Gym,
right? Yeah.
And I have about 4 trainers at the gym right now.
Yeah. I have some pictures of your gym that I would like to show to our viewers.
Yep.
People who are watching us on Facebook.
Yep.
And people who are watching us on YouTube and Twitter. The people in the media, in the radio cannot see these pictures. Only they can hear our voices.
Right.
Yeah. So this is Lace Up. This is your...
Yeah, so this is my gym here. This is a reception. So you go through the entrance, and this is our reception. So you'll be welcomed by our staff here.
Okay, Lace, now go Touch. Touch, where is this gym at?
So this gym is located in Nishiazabu.
Nishiazabu.
Yeah, in Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
So that's the showers.
Oh, that's the shower room.
Shower desu.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, kirei desho.
How many shower rooms do you have?
We've got 4 for the ladies' locker room and 2, just 1 for the men's locker room. So 5 in total.
Oh, then it's really big.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, in total, like the total size with just like the showers and locker room space included is about probably like 150 square meters.
So, how many people
Yep.
can come to use the gym at a time?
Okay, so we're strictly personal training or semi-personal training. So basically, personal training, I'm pretty sure people will be familiar with, which is just one trainer, one client. And it's like a private, just one-on-one session. Whereas semi-personal training is a little bit more open for other people, where it's one trainer to 3 clients at a time. Max. So you could be training with like other people or other members of Lace Up. So you could also build and grow your community as well. Yeah.
Oh, so like this.
Yeah, just like that. Yes, yes. So that's a photo of personal training right there.
And your gym is so huge, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, once you go there, it's not as big as you think it is, but it's big enough now.
It's big enough to contain. How many people can fit in there at a time?
I would say in one go, if I was to do a session or like a training session, I'd say about 10.
Oh wow!
Yeah, about 10 people.
10 people can fit in. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us, how can one become a member?
Okay, so normally it's just strictly word of mouth. So we do have a bit of a filter there, but we also take exceptions. So if you're really, really interested, then you could always shoot us a direct message. So you can shoot our Instagram or social media accounts a message that you're interested to sign up as a membership, or you want to take personal training on, or you could also just contact us through our website.
Okay. There's a website.
Yeah, we have a website, but right now it's just we're renewing our website right now, so it should be launched by mid-April or something like that.
All right.
Yep.
The gym. Before just a couple months ago, the COVID was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, gym and outgoing places that people really go and makes a lot of people comes.
Yep.
They had a restriction of what people. How did the COVID, affected your business?
So this is an interesting story. So when I started Lace Up, I built my company right in the middle of COVID.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, when COVID started to break out, and there was like a huge not official lockdown, but like there was that time period in Japan where people were told to just stay indoors, and that was exactly the moment that I started my gym.
That's like 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago. So we're only 3 years old. So very, very young gym right now. Very young gym.
Just like us.
Just just like me. I mean, look at me. I'm full of youth, man. So I started Lace Up 3 years ago, right in the middle of COVID.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Why did you want to start that?
Well, so this is a little bit stoic, but so this is the theory I had, is that because the type of service that I provide is strictly like probably the highest type of highest demanding type of customer service sort of business, because it's strictly one-on-one. So your like trainers will be spending 60 minutes full on just with one person, right? And you don't get that kind of customer service with any other business.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
maybe you could go to like massage parlor, or you could go get your hair done, but there's not as much as talks, there's not as much as like skin shit, like physical contact, not as much or not as heavy and deep communication going on. So in my theory, I think customer service is probably like goes to the most extreme in terms of demand in our business. So when I understand that, I thought to myself, if LaceUp is a very good company and a very good and provides good service, then it should survive COVID.
Wow.
If my business does not survive COVID, then I do not provide good business, and that's how I judge myself. And that's the exact reason why I started LaceUp right in the middle of COVID. I was like,
outcome.
so the outcome so far is when you look at numbers, it's slowly but surely is growing. Yes. So in that sort of sense, I mean, I'm like, yeah, it's all working. Right now we do train a few boxing world champions. We train Olympic figure skating athletes. We train a few other professional athletes like.
Any names that you can mention?
Well, just the other day I trained Kanako Murakami. She's a former Olympian for the Pyongyang Olympics for figure skating.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've trained her, and I've also trained Naomi Campbell, Ayumi Hamasaki, these type of people in the past as well. So like
Ayumi Hamasaki?
big names, yeah.
The musician.
Yeah. So I've trained her. Ikko-san, I've trained.
Ikko?
Yeah, I've trained Ikko. So I've trained like all these famous TV talents,
Right.
pop artists.
Okay.
So I've got Sumire. She's a really good friend of mine.
Sumire,
So shout out to Sumire. I've trained quite a lot of wide variety of like professional athletes, and then also big business owners, and then also famous entertainment people.
Yeah, even knowing you was through a business owner.
Yeah.
My friend and your friend.
Yeah.
Hokulani sensei.
Yes, Hokurani-san. Yes.
Hokulani-san is a friend of mine. We've been friends over 20 years.
Oh wow, that's a long time. Wow.
Time.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her like, I need someone to interview. And she said, why don't you interview License? Who's License? My trainer. I said, yeah, come on. And then he hooked us up.
Wow, yeah. Shout out to Hokulani. Yeah. My very good important client there.
Hey,
she's full of energy.
Buchake, how is Hokulani?
So Hokulani,
a good student.
Yeah, Buchake, she's a very good student. She brings a lot of positive, really good energy to the gym. Really good energy. And she just immediately has great conversations with other clients. So then immediately my other clients, some could be nervous, some could be a little bit shy.
Right.
She just kills it. She just makes everybody happy. It's so good.
She's so lovely.
She's such a lovely, man. I wish I had her as a mother,
By the way, how old are you?
Okay, so I'm 32.
Oh, okay.
32 歳.
32歳. Yeah, still young.
まだね.
Yeah, still young.
Yeah, まだ3歳.
So, if, for example, I want to become a member of your gym.
Yep.
Like Goju Sai no Ji-san, 50 years old man who want to become like fit and healthy.
Yep.
What type of advice or what type of menu would you propose to that person?
Good question, but I need to narrow the question down because it really depends on the individual, their age, their gender, their lifestyle.
Okay, let's say a 50 years old man.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Want to get strong, both in bed, academically, whatever.
Mentally, physically, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, okay. So I would say 50s would be like middle-aged men, middle-aged group. So it is actually a turning point in their life where a lot of muscle atrophy is actually happening, not only for men but also for women. Muscle atrophy is the sign of where you actually start to lose a lot of muscle mass. So say when you're 20, you hit 20 years old, right, and then you've become a fully grown man, and and say at the age of 20 will be 100% of your full muscle, and say you don't do any weight training, you don't do any gym work for like 30 years, and now you've turned 50, right? So you haven't done any physical activity for like 30 years, and during that 30 years, almost like every year you lose about 0.8 to 1% of muscle mass from your body every year. So when you're 20 years old, and say 100% of muscle mass at 20 years old, by the time you're 50, you already dropped 30% of that 100%.
Oh, wow.
So now your body is working on 70%. Yes.
Wow.
So then imagine when you, so from 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, the older you get, then the rate of your muscle mass that drops starts to increase even more. So what was, when you were young, what was 0.8 to like 1.1%, depending on your gender, that kind of stuff.
Right.
That can increase to about 1.2 to tops like 1.8%, so nearly like 2%.
2%.
Especially when you're like in 70, 80 year old and up. So the drop rate or the muscle atrophy rate can increase quite a lot. So obviously when you see a lot of old people, you can tell if they've been training their muscle or not. If they haven't been training the muscle, you can tell they walk with a stick, or they're in a wheelchair, or some other physical disability. So from my theory, I would think just doing a little bit of weight training, just stimulating your muscle just a little bit.
How many times should?
So it also depends on like your goal, but if you want to get stronger, then I would say come to the gym or stimulate your body 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh, そんな.
Yeah.
ほとんど毎日だな。
ほとんどかな. Yeah.
Oh, 4-5
Yeah.
days.
Or it also depends on the I would say the how hard you train, right? So depending on like how intense your workout becomes, if you want to make a really intense workout and really tire your body, then you could go like 1 or twice a week. But just to spread it out, because the goal is to go for a long time, right? So you just want to create a cycle. You don't want to tire your body too much. You just want to have something that's consistency in there. So for consistency, I would say 3 to 4 times a week, just moderate intensity, nothing too much, but enough to like tire muscles, just strengthen your muscles a little.
Is it also for like the same thing like for women? For example, like, women after birth and stuff, they become very, they lose their muscles and their belly become very soft or maybe big. How do they lose those type of gain the muscles back?
So it's quite simple, because with muscle it comes down to, with what you can do from an external point of view, is you have either nutrition and also with tension, damage or stress. So you need some sort of stimulation to the muscle. So tension, damage or stress could be you could just do jogging, you could just walk, you could lift some weights, but any kind of stress to the muscle can help the body build the muscle to become a little bit stronger. But because when you do any kind of exercise and you stress the muscles, then the muscles need to recover, and that's where nutrition kicks in.
Right.
So you want to focus a little bit more on increasing your protein intake and maybe manage your carbohydrate intake as well. So it's just like, it just starts to get deeper and deeper depending on your goal.
I was told that protein is not really good for the body. Is that true?
So it depends on what form you take, but I mean, it's fine, because you can take like supplements, like you can have the protein shakes, just so long as you do want to check you put your digestive health into check as well, or like your gut microbiome, that kind of stuff, so you just want to check your intestinal health at the same time, because when you drink protein as a nutrient, it does take a lot of time to digest. Okay, so out of carbohydrate, out of fat and protein, the 3 major nutrients, your macronutrients, protein takes the longest to digest and break down in the body. So basically it needs to stay in your stomach a little bit longer compared to like the carbohydrates and the fats. Right. So if you take it in liquid form, there's a little bit of controversy there, right? Because liquid doesn't sit in your stomach too long. Yeah. So if anything, I would advise just try and get your protein intake. Consume a protein through chicken, fish. If you're not a meat eater. If you're like a vegan, then just go for like your beans and that kind of stuff, like broccoli. That kind of stuff is really, really good as well.
Then taking that protein drinks, shakes.
Yeah. So I would say just only utilize a protein shake if you cannot manage to eat the required amount.
Okay.
Especially if you're not like an athlete or you're not like bodybuilding, that kind of stuff, then the recommended amount of protein to eat will be somewhere between like 0.8 grams to about 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. So if you're like 50 kilos, then you want to be eating around 50 to 60, 70 grams of protein. And then when you try to, so then how much protein is 70 grams of protein or 50 grams of protein? If you calculate 100 grams of meat or fish is equivalent to about 20 grams of protein. Okay, so if you have that knowledge in your head, then you can kind of work your way forward. So say if you need to eat about 50 grams of protein, then you might want to be eating around 200, 300 grams of protein a day. 200 to 300 grams of meat or fish or that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's really interesting because when you talk just protein and then people think, oh, if I need to eat 50 grams of protein, I should eat 50 grams of chicken and then I'm good, right? But it doesn't work like that because it's like 20 grams of protein in 100 grams of meat or fish. Yeah, so you have to eat like 200 grams of meat will be 40 grams. If you eat 300 grams, then that's about 60 grams as well. So just you got to work your way forward and try and calculate how much you need to eat a day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Lazy, we come back to building up your company. When you started, your company, how was it easy for you? Well, you have foreign and half Japanese.
Yep.
Was it easy for you to, build your own company? Is it easy?
To be honest, it's not easy. It's not easy now as well. Like I think this is the same with any company owner or just even working for any kind of company. Like work is never easy, right? But every day you have to work with a certain mindset, certain motivation, and a certain goal, right? Because you need to know what your drive, what keeps you moving forward. Why are you coming into work every day? Like what's your purpose? What's your mission? If you know that, then you could, no matter how hard your work is, you could always go through the day. Every day becomes a year, or a month becomes 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So it's just a constant build up of process like that. So for me, when I started my company back in July 2020, actually, so this comes to, okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit of like a private life kind of talk, yeah?
Right.
So that's okay. So if you go back to my photo of my reception, you would see,
Hold on for a second. The reception, right?
Yep. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, so if you see on the left side, you could see a whiteboard, with all the autographs and everything.
Right.
Yeah. So and you see a drawing of a good-looking man there.
Yeah.
So that's my father. That's my father.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my dad. So that's my old man. Yeah. So a little bit of a sad story. He passed away about 3 days after I started Lace Up. So yeah. So he's no longer with us. He is with me in heart, but so that's a reality. Is that the day I built Lace Up and started Lace Up, and it was about what I remember. It was about 3 days later I started Lace Up. My dad passed away after battling cancer for 5 years.
Jesus Christ. Sorry about that.
That's all right. But again, so you can see the quote underneath his drawing. It says, "When you look back, it was all worth it." This is a very memorable quote that hits me really hard of his.
Your dad always
This is what Dad used to say. So, whenever I was going through a hard time, he would always tell me this. And he says, in the future, when you look back at whatever you're going through right now, you will always appreciate the experience, So that's a really good quote for me, and I thought, why not make that a part of my culture in my gym? So right now, every client that comes into the gym, they're always going to see this as they walk in. When you look back, it was all worth it. Whether it be one session, the whole month, if they had any bad time in their private life or whatever, they'll always just look at this, get a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation, and then go train. So yeah, I mean, mentally, it wasn't really easy for me at all. Actually, it was really, really hard to keep my head straight and actually start running the business and start operating. But when you got to go, you just have to go, yeah? So it's been non-stop since.
Oh, wow. Man, I'm sorry to hear that you lost.
No, man. I mean, it's been, he fought 5 years and, not many people get the luxury to, prepare yourself for that kind of loss. So, I actually take the 5 years of mental preparation as a very, good thing, as a gift. And yeah, when it happens, it happens, it just can't, it either comes early or it comes late, but it is always going to come at some point of life, right? But yeah, I mean, that is part of living, and you just got to learn the hard way. And you got to learn how to live on top of that experience. And if you can take that experience and try and channel that experience into something positive and give back to people, which is what he used to do when he was alive, then it was all worth it,
So who was a model for you in your life?
Yeah, obviously Dad would be, his way of thinking. He was generally just kind to everybody. He was very giving. So yeah, Dad would have been he was a really great role model for me. And I've got a couple here and there, but yeah, I just put Dad on the top of the list for now. But yeah, I mean, I kind of get motivated not really by a lot of famous people, but I just get inspired quite easily from just people who are struggling and then they turn their life around, they turn it upside down, and those type of people really inspire me a lot. So
is there any story you can tell our viewers and listeners that can inspire someone?
Right. Yeah, okay, so I'd say recently I had a chance to do a little public speaking event called Changemakers Fest. Changemakers Festival.
Okay.
Basically it's a charity event for encouraging the youth or the young generation to make some sort of social activity, and make some sort of social action to do something good for the world, something that they could convert to for the SDGs and that kind of stuff. So I did a little public speaking for that event, and then I got the privilege to meet a very kind lady called Sahel Rose. Her name is Sahel Rose. You know her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sahel Chan. So I got to meet her, and her story is very inspiring as well. So I was like, yeah. I mean, just quite recently, just through people, you just get to meet all sorts of people. All sorts of people.
She's an angel.
She is. She's amazing. She's really amazing. Yeah. So I got to meet her, and then I also have a friend who used to be a homeless, and he turned his life around and 180-degree turn. Now he's a business owner, and he looks after. Can you tell us this about? Well, I don't really know his life story too much. I just know about him. Well, I'm not too. I don't know his story too much.
Anything you know that will make people.
Okay.
Will let people think.
Well, it goes. Okay, so he's a few years older than me. Well, about 10 years or so. And anyway, so this goes back to the Lehman shock, and he was working in what was he working? I forgot. Whatever job he had at the time, he lost his job, and then mortgage rates and everything, so he had to lose his house and everything, and ended up on the streets. Wow. And he was on the streets for about 3-4 years, and then eventually he got some sort of opportunity. Somebody picked him up and just offered him just a little job just to help him out a little bit. Right. I forgot what that job was. I think it was in for a restaurant or something like that.
Right.
So, just doing some simple kitchen work and that kind of stuff. And now he runs a few restaurants in Tokyo.
Wow. What type of restaurants is there?
So right now he runs a few Spanish restaurants.
すごいね。
Yeah.
この話聞きたいね。
So Spanish restaurants and.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Can you
yeah.
introduce him to me?
I'll try. I'll hit him up. I'll hit him up.
man,
Yeah.
that would
I'll
be
see. I'll see what he's
amazing.
doing.
You know, we foreigners, it's kind of hard for us, you know,
Yeah.
to succeed in Japan.
Yeah. I understand that a lot. I totally do.
So I think we need, you know, some people who are really inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
that-
You need a lot of inspiration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to give us, you know, to motivate us. There's a lot of people that have ideas,
Yep.
but they don't know how to. That is
Yep.
why I started this program called AGOOO.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah, AGOOO
Wow.
means knocking.
Okay.
So we knock on entrepreneurs, foreign entrepreneurs in Japan, just to, you know, help or
Yep.
motivate other foreigners
Yep.
in Japan to do something, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I actually, yeah. I'll actually look into it. Yeah, I think I've got a few other friends who've like gone through something similar. So.
Great.
Yeah.
So coming back to you, I know. Have you achieved your goals yet?
Have I achieved any of my goals?
Yeah. Well, one, you were able to do your gym.
Yeah. So one, I was able to do my gym, and through my gym, I've always, because in my past, you know, like I've trained, you
This
know,
is Jaffrick
Hamasaki
Radio.
Ayumi, like Naomi Campbell, these type of, you know, people, and through that experience, I thought, you know, through Lace Up, I would love to train these type of, you know, very inspirational people, you know,
Right.
because not only do they put you on the map, but they also put the message of like what you're trying to succeed, or like what is your message, what's your mission through the business or like through your profession, right? And for me, it's like ultimately everybody would eventually, they're going to pass away, right?
Yes.
But how you live, how you treat your body maintenance, your health maintenance, how you treat yourself really defines how you're going to die. So if you're a heavy smoker, obviously your chances for dying from lung cancer increases and other stuff, you know. And then if you're like a heavy drinker, you might have liver failure, that kind of stuff as well. If you eat too much sugar, or you just keep eating to the point where you start to get obese, and then that triggers all sorts of other problems, right? So then you might die from stroke or a heart attack or anything like that. So it really comes down to how you treat your body also determines how you treat your mindset. It changes your mindset in life, your motivation in life, and ultimately how you kick the bucket. So how you say goodbye to this world, it really comes down to how you live. And how you live, you can actually pass that on to the next generation, right? But if you want to put your body and mind and everything to waste, then that's not my responsibility, that's your responsibility. But for me, as a personal trainer, I don't just train people just to become good looking or put on muscle. It's a much bigger picture than that. So that's my ultimate goal or ultimate mission. But yeah, you can only achieve that through fitness, is what I believe. Yeah.
And are you still working on it? Of course.
Yeah, for sure. So like I'm still 32, so I'm still young, you know. Like I don't know, or I haven't experienced what it's like to be 40, or what it's like to be 50, 60, 70 years old. I don't know what it feels like to be, very overweight or whatever it is. But at the same time, you could either sympathize and empathize, and then I could also, through my practice and through my studies, I could also help and guide people in a certain direction where they really need to be or where they want to be. So it has to be that match. Like I can't just tell people to do this or do that. They have to come to me, and if they can seek my help, and I can give them the help that they need through whatever equipment, tools, optimizations that I have that I could pass to them. So yeah, it needs to link A and B. So me and that person needs to link and have that connection in order to head to any kind of direction. Yeah,
that's communication.
That's communication. Yeah, exactly.
You know, is this every success businessman or like every successful business?
Yeah,
you need a communication tool.
Right.
Between you and your client.
Right.
You and your staff.
Right.
You and your people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you've got it, because I mean, within 3 years, you've got about 5 more workers, right?
Yeah, so I've got about four other trainers in total, and then I've got 2 receptionists.
Right.
Part-time,
So that's, let's say 6 and
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
And you're just growing up.
And just trying to grow,
And my prayer for you is to grow up and become number 1 in the world.
Well, I mean, at least that is one of my goals as well. Like, I do have plans to expand start off expanding in Asia. So
Right.
I have my sights on expanding in Philippines right now.
Right.
Because the Philippines, or like Filipino people, are just very energetic and inspiring people. They're very aspirational as well.
Right.
So they have a lot of power and energy. If they can
Right.
channel that energy and power into the right direction, then boom, they have a lot of influence. So like social media is a big thing in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
So you have like so like, for example, in Japan,
right.
Naomi Watanabe
Yeah.
she's like the most famous or highest following in social media as a
really?
Japanese person.
I love her so much.
She's great, right? And
She's so
she's got about 9 million followers, I think. Oh no, hang on, I need to check. Maybe 5 million, I'm not sure. I need to clarify that.
You trained her, right?
No, I haven't trained her, but I'm just
Oh.
saying that regarding like the Philippines, there are so many people in the Philippines
Right.
who have a larger following. Right.
Oh, really?
So Naomi Watanabe, she's got the largest following on social media in Japan.
Right.
But in the Philippines, there's like, it's not just like a single digit. There's like double digit influencers in the Philippines who are Filipinos who have more. Like they have 10 million or plus followers as a Filipino. So that just shows how much influence social media has, how much influence people have in the Philippines.
What do you think about this social media thing as you brought it up?
I just think it's just a tool. It's just a platform to...
Do you think it's going to last for long?
It depends. It really kind of depends. But what I see right now, nowadays, like there's a lot of change in YouTube as well, like how people can make money off YouTube.
Right.
There's a lot of change from the Google side as well. So like you got to be putting on content that's actually quite useful for the viewers. Yeah. So you can't just be like, putting up anything, and then you can't just do silly things and have a large following and then make a lot of money, because it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
So I think the world of social media started to shift to be a little bit more professional.
Right.
But at the same time, we don't know for sure, because there's no end game, right? We don't know how a YouTuber career can end, or what's the next step for a YouTuber, right? We don't know what. We don't have any examples in the past.
No.
So we're just finding this out day by day, right, as we go along. So for me, I just think social media is a great platform.
Very great.
Just to reach out to other people and for people to know you and you to know people, right? So it's a great connecting platform, but I don't think there's not much more than that, to be honest. So I would say, social media is great because you get a promotional platform for free,
right?
And you could talk as much as like, you could show your work as much as like, you could show people who you are, what you like, that kind of stuff, right? So all that promotional work is for free, compared to like 20 years ago, like back in the 90s. You don't have that.
No.
Right? So media was very, very controlled
by
big TV, right? So broadcasting systems. But now that's just like, you can see that on your phone, and you can also follow whoever you want to follow depending on what your interests are. So so like, having that said, I mean, I think social media is a great platform just to show what you do.
So who is your favorite, let's say, trainer or macho man or whatever?
I've got a few trainers that I really look up to. So one guy's Jeff Cavalier. He's he's number one YouTube fitness channel called Athlete X. So I think he's very famous. He's got more than like 10 million subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was like top 10 influencing people on social media or something like that in the Forbes magazine as well. That he's a physical therapist / like body making or like strength training sort of influencer on YouTube. So and he puts up quite a lot of very useful content, not only for the mass but also for people who are going through back pain and that kind of stuff. So with special needs as well. So he puts up very useful content, interesting content. And then there's another guy that I follow. His name is David Alexander, and he's the owner of a very famous gym in America called DBC Fitness. And that gym is quite famous and known because of LeBron James and all these like top athletes that go and train there. And then so there's just like there's a few, or I know there's a lot of great trainers outside in America, Australia, England, all these advanced countries in terms of fitness, but Japan is still a growing market. And right now the industry in Japan,
how do you see it?
So right now I think the Japanese fitness market, to my eyes, is very slow compared to America.
Right.
So
why do you think so? Why is it slow?
Because most of the content, most of the tools, most of the knowledge, most of the culture, most of the trend, it all comes from America. It's all like just top down. So it's just all imported from America, but then it takes a lot of time because of the language barrier, so it needs to be translated, and then it's also got to match the timing of how the industry is growing in Japan at the same time as well. So right now, for about 10 years or so, the fitness industry has grown a lot in terms of interest, in terms of consumers, but Japan alone is still known for only 3% of the population are the consumers in fitness. So it's very, very low. So very low.
I used to go to fitness. I used to go to Gold's Gym, and it was always full. So I was thinking that
but it's still only 3% of the Japanese population. So that needs to grow, and that has grown due to like say spikes of interest, or like a lot of advertising from Rise app and that kind of stuff. So personal training become a lot more popular. A lot of people started to know what personal training is, but at the time, for the past 10 years, people are trying to shift through what personal training really is. So like say 10 years ago, Rise app came, and then they were promoting all sorts of like stuff about losing 10-15 kilos in 2 months, that kind of stuff, like extreme body weight loss, right? So extreme weight loss was like probably the door opener for personal training, and then comes the body competition. So like going up on stage and do bodybuilding competitions, and that's become a bit of a culture or a trend. And that's been the shift from the first 5 years of like extreme weight loss to the next 5 years becoming bodybuilding competitions. And so a huge increase in personal trainers has spiked over the past years, and basically during this 5 years or 10 years or whatever, there's been a huge increase of personal trainers, personal training trainer population. But in terms of what their craft is like, or how certified they are, how the quality of the service can be questioned. And so how I see it right now is, I think our industry is starting to go into the phase of survival. How many trainers can survive for the next 5-10 years as a trainer?
What about their students, or the people who are the clients? Are they increasing? Yeah,
I would say so. Clients are definitely increasing, and I also have a feeling that the clients are also getting educated a lot more. So they're rapidly gaining more fundamental knowledge.
Right.
So they could actually make a good judgment on whether they want to invest in this gym or this trainer. So that sort of like measurement, which was not there before, is now starting to increase. So like before, personal training was a huge investment, because it's like 200 grand, 200 to 400 grand, 400,000 yen for like 2-3 months.
Oh wow!
Right. So that was like the initial or original like pricing range.
Do you think it's very expensive in Japan? And I know it's expensive here in Japan and America.
Yeah.
Sorry, just because maybe the population for the clients were very low, and the education for the fitness was kind of low.
Yeah.
But now, whilst it is growing, do you think the prices will be a little bit?
I think It's actually already happening right now with like personal training gyms. That there's a lot more personal training gyms that are just really cheap. Like you can find a personal training gym that you only have to subscribe for like 30,000 yen a month, and you get like 8 sessions or like unlimited sessions, and it's just like really cheap now. So like another competition in terms of survival is like the box studio or like the personal training studios. They're in a survival phase as well, like how many studios can actually survive the next 5 years or 10 years. So that you can actually have the two, you know, you have studio survival and trainer survival. And so like all these studios and trainers are just making all sorts of efforts in like trying to survive. So then now the studios are cutting down the prices and making it a lot more reachable, accessible. But with a drop of price comes this drop of quality,
Right.
Especially with our type of work, because what we do is we work on the human body, you know?
Right, yeah.
And so you do have to have really good knowledge on what you're doing, because there's a lot of injury risk. Depending on your advice, could actually make the client better or worse. So you really have to have very good knowledge and very good skill set to train your clients, and you have to understand a lot of components of fitness.
Wow.
So for me, it's like not only understanding nutrition, not only understanding like weight loss, like how fat cells grow and how fat cells are, you know, they burn, how you burn fat cells. But then again, there's like a lot of components in terms of like moving. So you have to understand biomechanics, which is a certain category of understanding movement. So it's like a mixture of biology and physics.
Oh, wow.
So you have to understand this as well when you teach movement. And then you got to understand anatomy. So you got to understand like the bone structure, the muscular structure, the nerve structure, joint structure.
So
it's just so much.
You're just like a doctor.
Well, I wouldn't say so, because my knowledge is very shallow compared to a doctor. But I would say I would like to be concerned as a very good cushion between a doctor and, you know, before going to the doctor. Like I would be the guy that you want to see to prevent seeing a doctor.
You know, sometimes, for example, for me, I get back pain. If someone have a back pain, what is, you know, the best exercise or what that person supposed to do to get relief?
Yeah, so it really depending on the type of back pain, whether it be like spondylosis or scoliosis or any other, or you could just have a disc hernia. So there's different variants of back pain, and that really comes down to like your posture, muscular imbalances, poor movement. So there's a lot of components and reasons to why you have back pain. I would say, judging from how I see when you walk or like your posture, I would say your back pain will come mostly from anterior pelvic tilt, which is your lower back is hyperextended. Right, so you have like sorigoshi, so your back is hyperextended, your posture is like more leaning towards the backside, and your lumbar spine, which is the lower back component of your spine, has a very strong forward arch. So your butt is sticking out a lot, you know. So I would say in your case, that type of posture is what will be triggering your back pain. But you know, like there's just so many different ways. But again, when I assess back pain, I always look at the human foot. So I look at my client's foot. The foot, because it is your base foundation of your whole posture. So depending on your foot, where you lean, do you put your body stance more on your thumb? Do you put your body stance more on your pinky? Do you put your body stance more on your toes or your heels or midfoot? Do you have flat feet, which is like the arch of your foot? Do you have that curve or do you have flat? Right?
Wow.
So it really comes down to that. Maybe you have hallux valgus, which is like for women when they wear high heels, their big toe will be pushed inwards, and then they have that bunion, coming out. So that all that kind of stuff could trigger like postural imbalance or breakdowns, and then that could trigger pain in your knee, in your hip, in your back.
Hey, guys, you need to go. You need to go. It's very indicative. Very indicative.
So like when I hear back pain, I don't just look at the back. I look at the whole body, the whole system. But yeah, I mean, like if I was to recommend a stretch, go onto my Instagram and then you would see the post that I put up most recently is a stretch where you could put your leg up against the wall and you stretch your frontal thigh, your quadricep muscle.
This is your Instagram.
Yeah, that's my Instagram, RG Lacey Trainer.
Okay.
So if you go there, you can check there and check me out what I do on
This is
Instagram.
Jeffrick Radio.
And recently I put up a little stretch that anybody can do at home up against a wall. I'm pretty sure it's a really good stretch for anybody who's got lower back pain.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. これは通りすがりの雨でした。ありがとうございます。
そうだね。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, I think our time will be up soon. But before we go, do you have any how do we say last words for viewers, and also how do I say any something to tell the youth?
Please. Okay. I'd say to start off, so like as I mentioned before, how you live really comes down to like what you do with your body. Like you got to treat your body just as much as you want to treat your mindset, your heart, your mental health.
Right.
Really defines your physical health, and then your physical health can also define your mental health. It is also scientifically proven that exercise is the number one factor or the number one answer to almost every single problem that you have in life, whether it be mentally, like if you have depression, exercise, it has those hormonal responses.
It's true. Yeah.
Right? So no matter how hard of a time you're going through, try and find a little bit of energy just to go walking, get some sunlight, just do anything, increase oxygen circulation in your body. Anything is good. Just move your body more, and you would understand like how much difference it makes, how much positive difference it makes. So if you're going through a rough time, just go for a walk, go outside, move your body, lift your legs, just simple movements. Start off from that, and if you do that for 1 month, congratulations, and you can move on and maybe do something a little bit harder. Find a hobby to if you like skateboard, tennis, golf, anything's fine. Just move your body, because simply moving your body really affects your whole life in a positive way. Like that's the only thing I could say.
Wow.
So I mean, if you people who owns a dog will understand this, because if you own a dog, your dog is going to get stressed out if you don't take it for a walk, right? It's the same thing with humans as well. Take yourself for a walk, move your body. If anything's fine. You don't have to look good, but move your body, and it would affect your brain, it would affect your mental and physical health, everything. So that would be my message. So that would be the message for like young people as well. Like I mean, you're young, you're starting to shift into the actual big people's world. Like you start to work, and then you start to experience all the politics and everything, corporate politics, social politics, all that kind of stuff. It's stressful. So life is never easy, but again, stress management can always be manageable and controlled depending on what you do, what you eat, and how you move, how you treat your body. So because you're stressed, don't go to like the cigarettes and don't go to the alcohol. I mean, obviously you want to enjoy life, so I mean, I won't say zero, but again, understand how you want to invest your time, because it's always quality over quantity at the end of the day. So that would be my simple message.
Thank you, boss.
You're welcome, bro.
It was nice, having you in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
I really enjoy your your teachings. And talking to you. I've learned a lot.
Really? Thank you.
I was also talking to a friend this morning. He said the same thing that you just said.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
If you don't train, if you want to train and you don't know what to do, just go out for a walk. Tie your abirikoto. Have sun, whatever they call it. Get the sunlight on you. Do small training that you can do. Movements, as you just said. This guy, is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We've been friends over 20 years.
Yeah.
Or about 25 years.
Yeah.
And he used to be a K1 fighter.
Oh wow.
And his top.
Okay.
And then he became very big.
Right. Right.
Like 130 something kilos.
Oh wow.
And then his knee get injured.
Yep.
He had an operation.
Okay.
And then doctor told him, hey, you need to lose weight. And it's like, how do I lose weight? So he started training.
Yep.
His food, like as you said, walking around, training, being consistent in whatever he has to do. And now he's about 88 kilos.
Oh wow.
In a year.
Congratulations. Well, in a year.
And he looks he looks like a young Mr. Rhodes,
Yeah, good on him. Super. Wow. Wow.
He posted on Facebook. I don't know if I can see it on Facebook now.
Yeah.
And,
oh wow.
I mean, he was great. He was looking so great. Yeah. So he really inspired me, and I'm gonna invite him to Jafric Radio soon.
Yeah, oh, that'd be great, man.
And he's gonna talk about his life.
Yeah. Like being a professional kickboxer.
As you were saying, man.
Yeah, man.
To determine your future, your life, it's the way that you live your life now in the sports that
mate.
you do.
Yep.
He said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so simple because like when you break down your day, you have 24 hours in one day, yeah?
Yeah.
And you'll say you're like sleeping for like 6-8 hours, and then you go to work for 8 hours. How many hours do you have left? You maybe only have like 6 hours in total that you can spend for yourself. So, 全然ないでしょ? So, that limited amount of time left. I mean, you're going to spend like 3 hours eating, right? It's like you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So then that gives you maybe like 4 hours a day that you could actually spend for yourself. So do you want to spend the 4 hours something that could affect your health negatively?
No.
Right? You only live once, so make every day count so you could pass that day on to the next day,
Right.
You do something positive today, so that would lead to the positivity for the next day. And if you can keep that cycle, you can not only help yourself, but you can start to help others as well. And I think that's the best power that any humankind can have, So that's my theory. Man.
I'm so happy to have you today. Thank you.
本当ありがとう。
またぜひ来てほしい。
ぜひぜひお願いし
I really
ま
want
す。
to visit your gym as well.
Yeah, man, come over.
Yeah,
we do free trials, man. So
for real?
yeah, we don't charge people who are interested and want to come in and have a look. Like they could always come in. Just text me, DM me, and we will give you a free session. Just come in and have a free trial with us. See what we do. If you like it, become a member. If you don't, I'll see you somewhere. But we provide free trials. So
素晴らしい。ありがとうございます。
とんでもないです。
本当に嬉しい。ありがとうございます。Okay, viewers, listeners, thank you so much. Yeah, today I'm sorry that I was sitting here because it was supposed to be Mami AGOOO, and Mami AGOOO couldn't make it today, so I have to sit in for her. And today in the studios, as you all saw, we have this, gentleman, beautiful gentleman, handsome, intelligent guy from Australia, Mr. Lins. Oh, he's having water. Sorry about that. Yeah, the CEO of the Lace Up gym in Tokyo. Yes, thank you so much again, Mr. Lins.
Thank you
for coming to Jafric Radio.
No problem, man.
This is the end of the program, and we are looking forward to see you again next 2 weeks. And I think next 2 weeks, Mami AGOOO herself will be in the house. Okay? Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Shake it. From my shit, baby, I shit. See, can I look it?
Jafric Radio.
Yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, deny, befa, oh, befa, yeah, deny, befa, go, yeah, no, Leto, and Ramanda, today, die, it's a moto, or Brian, they say, Miss, you get at your word, yeah. Hard, yeah. Charlie, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, will be at your word, yeah. Shit. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more, yeah,
Yeah, sister Daisy, thank you so much. You left us a message. You say interesting interview, and he is really handsome. Oh, he's really handsome too. Yeah, he says thank you. Says thank you. Say something to Lindsay. Yeah, he says.
Hey, Lindsay, thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Daisy,
yeah?
Yeah, sister Daisy.
Sister Daisy, thank you so much, yeah?
Yeah.
Handsome is the best compliment to get, you know?
And my friend Bernard AJ is also watching. Is also watching all the way from Yokohama.
Oh wow! Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you. And also we have Kwekwa Samoa. Kwekwa Samoa is putting on some fire. He said, "Yeah, more fire, more fire." He's gonna fire the body. I think I told you very much. We'll see you again. Bye bye. Thank you for watching and thank you for the comments.
This is Jafric Radio.
Baby, I block it. So yeah, my baby, more, yeah,